Now, as a lot of y'all already know, I am not an expert at any of this. We just bought this property. I have no experience in doing this stuff. I'm just making it up as I go along. Now, the previous owners left a bunch of galvanized pipe here, so we're going to try to use that to save some money to just get the gate and the fence up for now, at least until we can put a really nice pipe fence in. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you can hear me well. We still haven't been able to find the mics after all the move. They're in a box somewhere. Hopefully they'll pop up soon. Y'all seen in my videos, my dogs stay by me. They don't run off, but there are a lot of animals out here roaming free. So I would just feel safer about letting them out, knowing that they have a gate to keep them in and keep other critters and animals out. Now with the move and everything, of course, we've spent a lot of money, so we need to do this on a budget. And then in the future, I want to do a real nice pipe fence. Now I am going to be welding, or I'm going to attempt to weld on this galvanized pipe, which is not ideal. There's a lot of toxic fumes that come off a galvanized pipe when you weld on it. But with us being outside, hopefully it'll be okay. Now I did purchase a gate. Of course, that would keep my big dogs in and out, no problem, but I'll go ahead and probably attach some horse fence to the back of it just for peace of mind. Now you can see over there, we attempted to attach the fence to that post. I thought it was deep enough in the ground with concrete to be able to support stretching the fence, but of course it didn't. With this black clay that's out here, even putting the pipe 3.5 feet in the ground with concrete, it still just gets soft when it rains and it'll pull it over. So we're going to have to build corners for every spot we have to stretch the fence. Now we did get the fence ran over there all the way to the front. And of course our end goal is to go from there to the house with a really nice decorative fence and put a custom built gate in. But that's going to be way down the road. Now I already dug and put concrete in the ground for this one. We needed some more concrete and some other materials, so we're going to get started on the rest of them. See what we can make work with what we got here. Now what I need to do is add some structure to this pipe, even though it feels solid. Like I said, as soon as we start stretching 150 feet worth of horse fence on it, with this black clay out here, it will start pulling it over. So we need to build a structure this way and go down so it has something to hold it in place so it doesn't want to bend either direction on us. Also, with it having the gate attached to it, just not that heavy of a gate, but over time, it can slowly pull one direction. So we want something a little extra to hold it in place. Now when I'm using this, I only got a 6-inch bit on here. Again, with this soft clay, I've already found out that just doing a 6-inch hole and putting concrete in there isn't enough. And going and purchasing an 8-inch bit is about 150 bucks for this, which is about the price of this whole machine with the bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly start wallering it out and try to get about an 8 to 10 inch hole so we can dump a bunch of concrete down in there. He is so curious about that. Hey, you're knocking dirt in my hole, man.
Class, stand back, bud.
Back, bud.
Help Daddy
Like,
dig
what's
it out.
down in there? What are you going for? What's in there? Watch it. This stuff is sticky. When I was out here the other day doing that one and it rained, I had like 4 inches of mud on either side of my boot. It would not come off. This black clay is no joke. It's coming off the end of the shovel today. The other day it just stuck to the blades of the shovel. That's about as far as I can go. I can't squeeze it anymore because the hole's too narrow. I said some of this pipe is pretty thick and heavy, and then others is kind of thin, but we're gonna try to make it work with what we got. Now I'm gonna see if I can use this T-post driver. See if I can't drive it down a little bit deeper.
Turn bucks about to help me to death. Concrete bags.
I'm telling you, we can make a strap, just hook it right up to it, teach him to pull that thing around. He'd probably love it just to have a job. Hey! Perfectly plumb. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of dirt in it and pack it down.
You're leaning on me. Don't lean on me.
Again, I don't know if this is the correct way to do it. This is the way I've been doing it. It's been working for me. I'm just gonna put a little bit of dirt back in it, pack it down so the pipe stays where I want it to, and then put the concrete in it so I don't have to put a bunch of stents up, holding it in place to keep it plumb. This is another awesome tool that the previous owners left here that we found. Feels like it weighs about 50 pounds, but it'll pack that dirt in.
Gives me a bit.
No, don't. I already got it open. I don't need you to open it. Hey, you don't need to breathe that in.
You need to breathe that in.
Just don't drink that. All right, now I'm going to take the sharp end of this and just kind of punch some holes. Let that water seep down into the gravel. Sometimes I'll put the water in first and then put, hey, don't drink that. Sometimes I'll put the water in first, then put the concrete in. As moist as the ground is, the concrete's going to get, it's going to soak it in and get hardened anyway. We could probably put this in here and just cover it, harden up just from all the moisture in the ground. All right, on to the next one. Good job.
I gotta breathe.
That's a workout, huh?
Yes.
Hey, but it's a whole lot better than digging the whole thing with this.
Oh god, yeah, that
Mud sticking to it.
would suck.
Want to give that a try?
Is that first?
Hold on, let's check our shirt. Oh, wait.
I asked you. We're way too far off.
Really far off.
To me to dig a hole that's too far to the left.
Yeah, the hole's supposed to be right here. Yes, this is where it would be. How'd you get that far off? Jeez.
Hey, it was my first time. Fill it back there.
Oh, Lord, woman. How'd you get that far off? I don't know. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I did it. With that fence back there.
Back to the pole.
Yeah, but where the bracket's at, we need room for the bracket and a little bit of room to. We need a little bit of room to adjust.
Oh.
Okay. So this is where a post needs to be.
Okay, can you like, I was gonna say, make a really good like mark for me. Okay.
That's where it needs to be.
I was only what, half a foot off?
Do it again.
You want me to fill that one back in? Or wait?
We'll fill it back in with the stuff we pull out. Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Hardcore black Betty.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's why. Pull it a little bit.
Just slow.
Oh, that's why I
Yeah.
flew.
I don't know if y'all can see all this different color. That solid stuff. That's clay. That's why it got hardcore.
And tipped me for a ride. At least I was further down when I did.
You don't even want to come up.
Just don't put it back in the hole.
Yeah, that's clay. So weird that a foot over is just fine.
Yep.
1 foot over is freaking clay. This thing is cooking.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to let it cool for a minute. Yeah, if you go for a ride, let go of the trigger.
I'm gonna leave that in the video. People are probably gonna be mad at me.
Okay. Ain't no wuss.
Yeah, that's just hard clay. Should be good. There's a little bit of rain for float. Now it's starting to mist, so I'm going to take the camera and put it over here in the barn while we dig this next hole. If the weather doesn't get worse, I'll pull it back out and we'll start filming the next part of this. But y'all need to see me dig a 4th hole, or if Emily was digging it, y'all need to see it apparently. Alright, so my awesome wife found my microphones, so hopefully they're working good with this new camera. I'm just going to hang it here so my jacket doesn't brush up against it and make a bunch of noise. So we actually have a 4-foot fence, but I'm putting it at 4'3". I want a little bit of a gap at the bottom so that we can get the weed eater underneath it. Hey, go stand all the way back there by that building. This Dovo laser is so freaking awesome. Watch this. Is that not cool? Look how bright it is, even way back there. I mean, she's way back there. Let's see, way down here. The laser shows how much this building has already settled into this black dirt as well. Say hi, Emily. Yeah, cool toys. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to set my laser down at that 4'3" mark. Now you can't do this for the entire fence because the yard has a little bit of a slope. So if you did this, your fence would get higher as it went down the property line. But we're at least going to do it just for these poles. So if you're standing back and look at them, they're all the same height. Now, even though I have the laser, I'm going to go through and mark it just in case the battery goes dead, which I think it came with a spare, which I have on the charger. Did I take my marker out? Nope, it's in my pocket. Green marker for a green laser. Yeah, it works well. We're not cutting these. We're going to leave those taller to put the lamps on. I didn't realize my camera had cut off. So I just went through and I just took my grinding wheel and I cut down the outside posts. Went a little bit lower than 4'3", maybe 4.5 feet. Then I cut a little bit of a curve in it so I can see how that sets with my pipe setting down in it. These are the light thin pipes. Oh, it's in the T-post. All right, Emily's going to use our Viver bandsaw here. Like I say, you can deattach that piece from the top. We could have used that to cut the top of the poles. I just didn't feel like taking it off. But there's just 3 Allen heads, and it comes off that base, and you can use it as a portable bandsaw. If you'll flip that switch on the top, kick the light on. There you go. Flip the little tab over on the back. There you go. Turn it a few turns to get it nice and snug in there, and it'll square it up, and it'll hold it for you. There you go. And just kind of let it work its way through it. It should cut through like butter. Yeah. Start your saw first, and then cut through. There you go. Best $170 ever spent. Thing is awesome. Get her, Colossus. Get her. So you're at my level. I get you. Yep. All right. I don't know how much y'all be able to see. I'll try to lighten it up as much as I can. It's getting dark. So I had to show y'all this. That is one high bay LED light for when we power up the barn so we can have lights in the barn. That's one. I don't think we're going to need 10 for in there. Maybe 4. Holy moly. LED technology, man. It is taking off. All right, now we can see the work. These feels nice out here. It's kind of cozy feeling. All right, guys, so I'm going to give this a try. I've never used my welder on the 110 or 120 setting before. I always use 180, which is technically 220 plug. But I don't have an extension cord long enough to run 220 all the way out here. That size extension cord to go 100 feet is super expensive, and I don't have a generator. So there's a few variables that may cause us some problems here. We're plugged into the guest house right now, which I think is just 15 amp plugs. So we may have to try to get some bigger extension cords out here and run to a 20 amp that I put in the garage. But we'll give it a try and see. Like I said, I've never tried it on 120 before, so I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, go ahead and put him inside. We don't need him looking at that and getting his poor eyes messed up. I know he wants to be out here with us, but it's actually not doing too bad for being on 110. Probably move this so it doesn't catch on fire. Okay, they're by no means pretty welds, but with it being low voltage, it really wasn't penetrating down into the pipes real well, which is good and bad. Good, it helped fill in the gaps pretty easy, but bad, it didn't penetrate down as far as I want, but I think it's good enough that it'll hold up. I mean, this isn't a structure, it's just a gate. I think it's gonna be good enough to hold up until we can eventually get our normal steel pipe that's not galvanized to build a nice, pretty fence. But I did leave these extensions on here. Who knows, if this stuff holds up well enough, maybe I'll just continue from here out with my steel pipes and leave this up. Time will tell if these welds will hold up or not. Tonight I will get some paint over these welds just in case we get any rain tonight. It won't rust them up. And then tomorrow we'll come out here and we'll paint the rest of these. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can't get this gate hung tonight. This is like a 1/4 inch thick. I think it's like schedule 40. So I think it'll be all right just to drill through here if I can drill through it and put my bolts through to hold the gate. Now this is what I got to hold that gate up. It's already got the little pieces that go around this. Now normally you would end up with a big, I had to put a picture here, what you would normally end up with that would go around the pipe. But the reason I wanted to try using these is because since we can thread it in and out, if for some reason with the ground the way it is out here, if they ever shifted and started leaning inwards and the gate say started dragging the corner over here, I could go through and make adjustments to this and pull the top one in a little bit more or push the bottom one out a little bit more, which in turn would raise the gate up. That's why I wanted to use these over the normal brackets. Pretty easy. Good drill bits, man, make all the difference in the world. And a drill bit sharpener. The question, the ultimate question. Come back in 1,000 years and I will have the answer. So here's a question. Do you do one facing up and one facing down? Or do you do them both facing up and you can pick and take the gate off? Sounds good to me. In case we ever need to take the gate off. I'm just gonna do them hand tight in case we need to make adjustments to make it set level. All right. Have you grab that end. Okay. Okay, I need, all right, it's starting to sprinkle a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and I've got this. Ace Hardware sells this rust stop paint. It's like $6 a can. Everything else is like $11, $12 a can. So we're gonna try it out and see. It's kind of a gray color, kind of like this. They didn't have any black. I would have just done black, but we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with it sprinkling out here because I don't want these welds to start rusting up. And with them being bare metal, they'll rust fast. They're already starting to rust just from the condensation. We'll come out tomorrow and clean these off and get them all painted. It's just like a primer gray. I mean, the color is like primer gray. I should at least hold it till tomorrow where we can see and clean them and get a nice paint on them. Hey, I don't think I've ever showed y'all this trick before. If you're outside painting, I wouldn't do it in the garage, but if you're outside painting, whenever you're done using your spray paint, you've seen I just used a little bit of it. I still have a full can. If you just go and put it up like it is right now, more than likely, your tip may get clogged up. If you'll just turn it upside down and spray it till just air comes out like that, it blows all the paint out of your tip. And then you're good to use it next time. That was a tip from my grandfather. We still got half my tools in boxes in there, so it's been kind of fun finding stuff as we're trying to do jobs around here. I'm ready to have the shop done, set back up, have all that space to work in.
With everything in there, it still feels so much better.
It does. So much room for activities. Okay. Ready, ready. You gotta go down what you're in. Yep, good. Hey, how many times does that happen? Probably all in that paint, damn it. Jeez, I can't get a break. Can't take me anywhere. Still level? Yeah, it ain't gonna squish that. I'm telling you, that's like Schedule 40 or something. That stuff's 1/4 inch thick. If we would have tried that with this thin galvanized pipe, it would have crushed that pipe. We ain't crushing that thick stuff. That worked out pretty good. So maybe we don't need to put a latch on it since it has a chain. We have a gate. We have a gate. Check that out. Got a gate. We got a gate. Okay, I think we're gonna call that good for tonight. We're gonna come out here tomorrow. Right here, the fence is gonna take a 90 and go towards the barn. So we're gonna have to build a corner similar to what we did today, but not as complicated. I'm pretty proud of myself. I've never done anything like that before. I think I'm gonna cut a little bit off the top of those pipes, just so that our lights aren't sitting crazy high up in the air. What do you think? Put those lights maybe, 'cause those lights are pretty big. So maybe cut it like right here. Those lights will sit on here, and they'll be probably about the height of this.
Well, when's the light supposed to be here?
Sunday.
Let's wait till Sunday, so we don't cut too much off.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's why I keep it around. Yeah, we'll wait till Sunday and see how big the lights are and then decide how high we want them. Because ain't no big deal to cut that. Say good night, Emily. Good night, Emily. Good morning, good morning. Is this not amazing? I love living out here. It's so quiet, peaceful. I love coming out to the dew on the green grass with big acreage and seeing all the sheep and the cattle, and this is definitely where we're meant to be. All right, I'm gonna get to work building this corner. I'll probably time lapse most of it since it's about the same process you've seen before, but if there's anything of importance, I'll slow it down and show you. I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to try to make a top rail for this corner. Instead of making a 4-foot corner, it comes out, 4-foot corner comes out, and then waiting to get pipe one day to run it, I'm gonna try to use all this scrap and just make a pipe to go here, to go here. We'll end up with a nice strong corner. We'll see if I can get it straight enough. Like I said, worst case, I just used up some scrap that was laying around here for a temporary fence. I can always redo it down the road whenever I can get some more steel pipe, but it's worth a try. Maybe it will work out and we'll be all good with this and won't ever have to mess with it again. you doing, Emily?
Making space.
Our plan is to get this all enclosed and open that to that and have a giant storage area. But right now we're just having to make stuff fit in here. Just need to get a concrete floor in. It's just got a rock floor right now.
Mine looks better.
Yep. A nice war wound. Let's film Emily for a little bit. She's gonna go ahead and add us an extra post right there in the center. They left this really cool post hole digger that's just like big enough for 2.5-inch pipe. So she's gonna give it a try, and she's gonna put us a pipe right here in the middle because that thing kind of bows and flexes.
Toby, come here.
So I'm not digging the gray. It looks like primer gray. It's supposed to stop rust, so I went ahead and coated everything in it just to stop that rust, but that doesn't look good. So we're gonna go into town and get some black, put some black on it. Emily's been busting her butt, and she wants what?
Burgers. Oh, dang.
So I'm gonna take her into town to Outlaw Burger, get her a really good hamburger since that's what she wants.
Peach cobbler.
Because I wouldn't be able to do this without her help. She's been tremendous help on all this stuff. Yeah, likes it. Anyways, we'll get some black paint on there and then we'll start pulling our fence down. Enclose this whole section.
And then build stairs for the ducks.
Yeah, then we gotta build some stairs. But for right now, I'm gonna go get some black paint. I'm gonna get her fed and we're gonna get back to work. See you in a second. Come on, Goofy. He's gonna take you out. You double your weight. You started it.
I know.
He's like, I'll play. The other day though, I had it pulled all the way down there. It rolled all the way back up here about that second pole. All right, if you're going to be doing this with barbed wire, or a fence like this on a T-post, and you're using these, spend the 20 bucks and get one of these. Has a little hole in here. They can grab that and spin it around, but it's also made to go through here and spin it around, or it can reach through from the other side and spin it around. I'll show you what I mean. You can use it several different ways, but man, over trying to use a screwdriver or trying to use a pair of these to do this, this tool will pay itself off the first one you do because it just makes life so much easier. All right, take a little tool, push it through, And if you want to go super tight with it too, you can just keep cranking around and keep putting this thing in there and it'll just... This makes life easy over sitting here trying to get through this hole and grab the back side here like this and trying to pull it and bring it around. Yeah, and your hands hurt. I got these from Truck Supply. I think it was $19. Clip bender. This one I'm just going to take this wire. It's 14 gauge galvanized utility wire. Oh yeah, I forgot my lights came in late last night. I was so excited to see what they look like as soon as Amazon showed up. I busted them out of the box and got them put up there. You know, originally, remember, we were going to cut those pipes down for the lights, but we're actually thinking about leaving it that height. I'm just going to go through and make sure they're level and cut them the same height and then permanently mount them up there. They were nice. They weren't like super bright, like going to annoy the neighbors, but it was bright enough when we let the dogs out, we could see them out here. So they don't come on until the sun starts going down, and they're solar powered, but they have replaceable bulbs. It's just like your normal LED house bulb. So you can put an Edison bulb or whatever you want in there. And then it also has a replaceable rechargeable battery. So it's not like your normal solar powered cheap LEDs where, you know, when it goes out, you just have to throw it away and go get another one. This one has replaceable parts. It's also made of metal, not plastic. Also, I had someone that had horses before explain to me that you always want your fencing on the inside of the post. So if your horses are going to be on this side, you want the fence on this side of the post, so whenever they go to lean on it, they're not pulling the fence away from the post, they're leaning into the fence, which is pushing on the post, if that makes sense. You can do them either way, but they always said that's the best way to do it. Now, I don't have horses, but I might as well, so I went ahead and did it that way. Also, if you're in Texas, I don't know if it's the same everywhere else, but here in Texas, we're only doing a 4-foot fence. If I would have actually done a foot higher, a 5-foot fence, my property value would go up because they consider that a cattle and horse fence when it's at 5 foot tall. So we've just got horse dogs, so we're doing 4 foot. It would have been a good investment to do 5-foot fence. I also kind of like having the 4-foot fence, being able to see over it. Having it up here, it kind of feels like a wall. This just feels like a yard. Now, if I'm ever able to buy the rest of the acreage around me, we're going to be putting in some horse fences. Because eventually I will have my own horse. I grew up on them. I miss it. I've been on them since I was babies. If y'all follow me on social media, you've seen pictures like this and this. I love riding. I love riding draft horses because I'm a 250-pound guy, and being on the back of a normal horse kind of makes me feel bad. But an 1,800-pound draft horse that shoulder comes up to my ear, I don't feel bad riding them. Plus, those big horses have the same personality as my big dogs. They're kind of got that lazy, careless attitude, which I love. So one of these days, back to work. It's a little dewy out here, and man, it just turns that black clay, black dirt just into, it don't want to come off. But as this stuff gets wetter, it just gets sticky. It's like glue or gum. Moving to the country, gonna build a lot of fences. Moving to the country, gonna get stuck in the mud. Yeah, that's working a lot better. That's a lot stiffer. It's not moving. Hey, we're learning as we go. So now we know. And knowing is half the battle. Yeah, see, I can get some good force on it. Suck it in tight. Yeah. And then that doesn't move. That is just solid where I've just got the few of those in already. Now, I wish Emily didn't have to work today so she could be helping me do this. We didn't get to get anything done yesterday. It rained all day. I just went through, like I said, and stripped off some of the vertical wires and just left the horizontal wires exposed. This is what I'll go and I'll wrap around the pole, and then I'll bend these around. All right, that wasn't easy working right next to this wall, but got it. Now I need to run it over there and stretch it out. Fun, fun. All right, that worked out good. We were able to keep the tension on it and get it tied in nice and snug. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the straps on it for right now until I get the rest of it wired up. It'd probably be fine to take them off, but just for peace of mind, I'm gonna keep tension on it while I finish wiring up the fence. I'm gonna take that leftover section right there, and I'm actually gonna wire it up on the back of the gate. My big dogs wouldn't go through that gate, but my old Australian Shepherd, she may. I don't think she would, but she still may. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on there just to be on the safe side. All right, I'm not gonna film just putting all these wires on this fence. Y'all know what that looks like. Whenever I come back, we'll have some footage with those lights on, see what it looks like.